In this video, I'm going to show you an agentic AI application that I've built to help salespeople find sales lead or prospects that they can approach so that they can contact to sell their products. Now, what you see on the screen is the AI application built using N8N. This N8N application consists of a chat message input, an AI agent that will take the input and pass it to an OpenAI chat model to understand the input in natural language and to decide what to do next. Now, here connected to the AI agent, there's two MCP clients, Firecrawl MCP and Hunter AI MCP. The function of Firecrawl is to do a web search, web crawl or scrape to find prospects of potential buyers of a salesperson's product. And next, here you have Hunter IO MCP client. The function of Hunter IO is to find email addresses based on company name and people working in those company. And you can also find people who works in the company if you provide a company name. And along with the person who or contact person who works in that company, you can also find valid email addresses by doing email find, verify, and domain check. So once these two MCP clients returns the result to the AI agent, the AI agent will call an output parser tool to structure the output into JSON format so that another system can understand. So what is the other system that next once I have the result of the prospects? The other system could be another AI agent that will take this list of prospects and send email to them. Let me now go deep dive into each of these nodes. First is the AI agent. It will receive chat message input, and I have configured this AI agent with a system prompt where this AI agent will have a specific behavior and it will do a specific job of taking the input query from the user, and it will use tools that is available that is connected to this agent to search the internet and scrape websites to find potential customers for the product that I'm trying to sell or the user that's trying to sell. And here, because the response can be many, so I have specified this agent to only respond back with 5 sales prospects. Okay. Besides telling this agent to use the appropriate tool to search the internet for the potential client company, I've also specified the system prompt to find email addresses of these prospects from the company the potential prospect company is found from the web scraping and the web search. Next, I want to introduce Firecrawl. I'm going to explain more about this. What is this Firecrawl? So Firecrawl, it's a system or it's a tool from the AI agent perspective to perform tasks like web search, web crawl, scrape, or prospect company. So how it works is that the AI agent will call this Firecrawl MCP client, and this MCP client will call the Firecrawl MCP server to understand what are the APIs or the features available, and then it will inform AI agent what's available. It will let the AI agent decide. AI agent uses the help of LLM reasoning to help make a decision which API to be called and for which task. Now, the beauty of using MCP method instead of direct API call is that from the Firecrawl platform, there are many features available, hence many APIs available. For those who are familiar with software development, if you are to write code to have the logic to decide which API to call, there'll be a lot of if then else statements. But in agentic AI development, instead of hard coding that logic, you let the AI agent decide, or you let the LLM decide which API to call. Those APIs that I mentioned, there are search APIs, crawl, and scrape. Okay. A quick overview about Firecrawl. So if you go to Firecrawl website, you will find these are the functions or APIs available. There's the search API. So what it does is search the web, get full content results. Think of it as a Google search in the form of an API call. And once the search result is returned, you can also call the next API available from Firecrawl to scrape. Scraping means you extract data from the websites that you found. Or you can also crawl. There's also API to crawl. Crawl as in to simulate as if you are a human a person browsing the web. You will click on pages on the website. But in this case, this crawl API will go through the links on the website, on the web pages, and click on it as if a human is browsing the website. So how do you configure the MCP client, the Firecrawl MCP client? First, you specify the URL to the MCP server, which is the endpoint, and you specify what is the transport protocol, which is a HTTP streamable. The other protocol is not used or outdated, so this is the only one available. And to find out the endpoint of the Firecrawl MCP server, you go to the documentation website of Firecrawl, and this is the URL to the Firecrawl MCP server. As you can see here, it requires a Firecrawl API, and you can get the API from the Firecrawl dashboard. Once you created an account at the Firecrawl website, you'll be given a login to this dashboard, and then from the dashboard you will have an API key. So this is the API key that you insert into the MCP URL. This is where you insert the API key into the MCP URL. So back to N8N, the Firecrawl MCP client node. Now that you know where to get the Firecrawl MCP server URL, and I've got the API key from Firecrawl website, so I just have to insert in between here and put it into the MCP client node. Next, I want to talk about Hunter.io. So Hunter.io is a software as a service that helps to look for email addresses. Just to give some background, what is Hunter.io? So here are the list of features that you can get from Hunter.io. It provides APIs to discover company names that matches your set of criteria, which in this case, in my user prompt, I want to know who are the prospects that can potentially buy products that I'm selling. So if I call this API, discover API from Hunter.io, it returns back a list of companies. Now, remember that the list of companies, so I have Firecrawl, who will find out which are the prospect companies, and Firecrawl will send this list of prospect companies to AI agent. AI agent decides what to do with the open chat model, OpenAI chat model, and OpenAI chat model will tell AI agent that since you have the tool, please, and you want to have a list of prospects and their contact, use the tool to find what is their contact information. So in this case, then AI agent will use another API that's available from Hunter.io, which is the email finder API, and also the email verifier to check if the email found by Hunter AI is it a valid email. And here in Hunter AI, there's also another function or API called enrichment function, which returns information about the person, or such as the role of the person or his title in the company. Now, as you can see, I'm using the MCP method to call the APIs from Firecrawl, and I'm also using the MCP method to call the APIs available from Hunter.io, because with the MCP standard, it simplifies API calling. How it works is that on the MCP server, such as the Hunter.io MCP server, it will publish the list of APIs that's available to the MCP client, and then the MCP client will tell AI agent these are the catalog of functions available. AI agent will decide which API call to use that is suitable. So from a programming or software development perspective, the programmer do not need to hardcode the if then else logic into the application, but rather using an agentic AI and LM, the decision on which API to be called is dynamically decided by the agentic AI. So similarly for Firecrawl has got also a long list of functions. The beauty of implementing agentic AI is that you let the AI agent decide instead of hard coding the logic into your application. So what exactly is MCP? It's a standard that was developed by Anthropic. It's a standard that allows AI applications to talk to each other, to work with each other. It's like a USB-C port for AI applications. And you have seen MCP clients within my application, my agentic AI application. So what it does, it calls MCP server. Within the MCP server, it will publish a list of APIs available, or list of functions and features available to the MCP client, and the MCP client will inform AI agent, my AI app, that these are available, and let the AI agent decide anytime dynamically which API to call. So next, in my AI application, I have this node called a output parser, structured output parser. So what it does is it formats output from this MCP client, and there's a Firecrawl web search results. You'll format it into JSON along with the results from Hunter.io, which is a email addresses, person name, and company names. So you'll combine the result returned by these two MCP clients into a list of prospects, which is formatted in JSON. So how this JSON list looks like, this is what I have keyed into the JSON, into the structured formatter. I want the data that the AI agent returned back to me to be a list of prospects or an array of prospects if, from a programming perspective, if you look at this square bracket. And for each object in this list, or each prospect in this list, I want to have a first column to be name, first name, last name, company role, and the email address. So this two columns, first name, last name, and the role and email, is the result returned by Hunter.io. Company is the result returned by Firecrawl, all combined into a single list. Rationale, this output comes from AI agent and LLM reasoning. Why is this prospect qualified as a potential client? Okay, so that concludes part 1 of this video.